to adapt to how these teams, such as Raxo, Artor, and Cammy, are closing out these games.
Yeah, and like I kind of alluded to earlier, these guys took height with those shockwave plays in that last moving zone, and because Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson did not have enough materials to maintain that high ground, they could not take it back at that point. It was secured for Cammy, Raxo, and Artor. They just continually pressured down from there on, and that was the victory royale.
Man, I mean, again, first game jitters. We'll see. We got to see for the data from game number 2. The question is, though, is there going to be a new day 2 trio that will pop up like this one that we just watched? Or will our first day trios show up? Well, let's find out as we jump back into game with our casters. Take it away.
So much, Zeke. I am Sancho West alongside Sundown, and it is a new day. Yes, it is. We are seeing some new trios who are trying to meet the performance of our day 1 trios. And hey, that number 2, sometimes a sequel, it can be better than the original. We all talk about movies here. Sundown, you've seen it before, and here's take a look at our game 2 of 7 here in the grand finals. And we're going to see a finish here up in the Northwest region, which is going to really favor that Doom's Domain and, more importantly, that Sweaty Sands trio.
West there of the ruins, there's like 3 different teams and 3 different triangles all fighting over kind of the one henchman chest that's guaranteed in that area, and a couple others. So a couple scavenger routes that are directly on top of each other. We're gonna hop on board here with somebody else executing on one of those scavenger routes. This was our match number 6 winner as we turn over to now the official backside. We're on the back half of the games here. Matches 7.
Сейчас. Ща. Я переодеться не могу. And Co. Controlling the vault and utilizing the skill pathways back and forth to try and get positioning over here on the north side of the house. Over here, however, all of the onus here is really going to be a bit here. So
just a little bit, maybe trying to take advantage of the and they could shoot off that slow start. With Mongo Trio, can test with Andalus. But right now, so far, we're just seeing another slow start here, Sundown. Just a little bit. I mean, we maybe see the early signs of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tasting the air, and I could taste that slow start.
And the one thing to note is about the slow starts today, you think, yeah, well, we got 7 games today. That's one more than we normally get. Like, it's okay. There's time as Birdseye there gets picked up by Benji in a nice little 50-50, able to swap over there to the Epic AR. Lecce is also going to be able to get a pick up there on the side. Benji's going to find the other one, and Lecce doesn't get converted, so saving some key resources there as well, not having to go over and utilize the reboot. We'll have to find some additional white heals. They have the bandage cannon, so not going to lose too much, but I mean, we've talked about it. Everyone is playing catch-up to Tayson, Mitro, and Mongrel, and one slow game, they got 17 points last game, so all of a sudden, that difference at the top, specifically if you're Benji, Savage, and Lecce, you lost 12 points last game. You have to make that up some way, shape, or form, and if these guys don't go down, if we don't see kind of that classic patented Mongrel over-aggression, where he kind of in the mid game and they keep getting their Storm Surge tags, I think again it's going to turn into a race for second.
I mean, the biggest fear as well is if somebody or some trio just decided to do 50-50s and try to drop into Starks. It happened before. They did lose their spot early in qualifiers when Jazzbase Trio, who is in the grand finals, mind you, kind of contested. They kind of started to lose it, but I think that woke up MMT. That woke up this trio to let them know, look, we're going to have to understand that someone will contest us at some point. And they just obliterated Jazzbase Trio in that next day in that tournament. So that is what we're kind of watching here. It's like, will it happen? Could it happen? We already seen OCE, the Lynx Trio slip from that first place, going all the way down to 7th place or so. It could happen, but so far, I don't taste it in the air. I only smell grand final champion here.
And that would be such a key kind of feather in these guys' caps. We talked about them being some of the strongest and best players in the world, and right now trying to put that on display, utilizing, again, we talked about this as well, the first shot accuracy from the Stark Industry Rifle and the high base damage of it, the fact that it still hits for 35 even at maximum range, and being able to convert on those 50+ damage headshots, make it one of the strongest weapons, and particularly, I mean, everybody has seen the clip of Mongrel on the high ground with an infantry rifle. This is about the same, and you'll also notice too, they'll generally run in terms of the rifle choice. They'll have a burst rifle on Mitro, and then Tayson and Mongrel will pick up those Stark Industry Rifles. That way, when you're spraying a wall, you have the fast first shot accuracy from the Stark Rifles, and then the 2-shot burst coming through on the burst AR. It gives them a bunch of pressure to hit trios behind their builds.
We saw that stat of Indretta, Safik, and Mongrel having 15+ elims, so they are slaying out. But what a metaphor. You see Mongrel's trio all decked out, swagged out, and whiplashes, and then you see everybody else in the back of the pack trying to catch up in the coop. That's the kind of race that we're talking about. Can the turtle catch the hare? And this hare has an extreme crazy start, and they're not going to be lazy like that story hare. They're not going to take a break. They're not going to eat. They're going to keep running at full speed. They're going to take their whiplashes and cross the finish line. The question is, can the people in the coops and the trucks, any kind of Fortnite vehicle, man, I'm going to take it all the way back to the board days, and maybe the shopping cart days, who's going to catch up to that Whiplash trio? I don't know who that's going to be.
Yeah, you can see those Mark 51s being so fast on rotation, but I will say the one thing that could end up potentially being a little bit of a stumbling block for the trio would be if they end up struggling with Storm Surge today. We've already seen in the first 2 games, that first Storm Surge has been massive in a completely uncontested drop spot. If they aren't able to kind of get enough tags to get over the top, that could force them into kind of one of those classic Mongrel over-aggressive situations.
Right.
As long as they avoid that, I think they'll be okay. Right, I think that if they've done enough so far where they have the playmaking ability over the course of these 6 games, that they're going to have at least 1 or 2 more solid games in that instance, as long as they don't have 1 or 2